All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and it's finally time to take a good long look at the Solar Tuna, this being the Seiko SNE498, the black and gold version. These were released in 2018 and were kind of a hit as far as the tunas go. Very nicely done watch. I've really enjoyed this watch. Here in just a second, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera and bring it up here so we can take a closer look at it. One thing I wanted to show you guys as we had the watch still here in front of the camera is how well this particular model that I received, the second hand hits the indices. It's really pretty much dead on. Now the watch is sitting at a slight angle, so as it goes around it may look off, but it is dead on. I mean, it's really nice to have that. I'm really excited about that. These solar Seikos are kind of just, to me, the new way to go with a lot of watches. I know that's going to kill a lot of people because mechanical watches are so popular in the watch world out there, but I really think there's so much benefit you get from these solar watches. So let me go ahead and quit talking. We'll pause the camera and get it up here and get a closer look at the SNE498, this new gold and black solar tuna. All right, guys, so as you guys know, these new solar tunas were very popular this year in 2018. They came out, I think, pretty much at the beginning of the year. They've made a number of different variations, colorways off of this watch. Of course, they've made a PADI model. They've made a PADI model, it seems like, of almost every new diver they've made, which kind of puts me off a bit. But anyways, this is a really nice version because, guys, what you have here is really a bargain offering to get you into the tuna realm. If you guys aren't familiar, and forgive me for all you tuna aficionados out there, I'm not really up on all of the reference numbers on all of them, but I know just the 300 meter quartz model Marine Master is going to set you back about $900 to $1,000, and that's just for that one. If you want to move up into the automatics and stuff, they're going to cost you a lot more. This watch will set you back less than $300. Now, it does depend on the variation you buy. I think the PADI models might be a little bit more, but not really much. I think you can pretty much find every one of them out there for under $300. I'll leave a link down below where you guys can check these out on Amazon. So very nice watch. Dimensions are just over over 46 millimeters. It comes in at 46.2 is what I measured. You're looking at about 45.7 lug to lug, but as you can see, the lugs really hug close to the case. They're basically right underneath that shroud, so it just barely hangs over. So it's very round on the wrist. It has 22 millimeter lug openings, and the watch comes in at 12.1 millimeters of thickness is what I got on my caliper, which is very comfortable. Now, Seiko has made a lot of changes, obviously, to get this into the price range they have it at, and I'm going to go over a few of those things that I noticed right off. First of all, I do believe that this is an entirely aluminum bezel on this watch. Now, it is a 120 click, works very nice, locks in very well, does have a slight bit of back play. I find that on aluminum bezels, they tend to have a little bit more back play than normal. Another thing I noticed right off, now I'll get a lume shot because it has brilliant lume, including on portion of the bezel. The first 15 minutes is lumed. But this is a plastic bezel insert. It almost appears to be kind of thin. It may even be, you know, I know all bezel inserts stick on, but this may actually be an adhesive bezel insert with some lume in it, which a lot of people may not like. But one thing I'll say right off is that you're not going to scratch this up like an aluminum bezel insert would be. When they're painted, they do tend to get scratched and banged up. This is pretty resilient, like plastic is. I mean, it's kind of, you know, eventually it may peel up or something like that, and I think you just stick a new one on there. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it does, you know, add, it's easier to manufacture that way, so it probably takes down the cost quite a bit. Another thing is they use a polymer or a plastic shroud on this watch. Now, aftermarket, you can go out there and find from Yobokis and stuff, they make a shroud that you can put on this, a stainless steel shroud that you can buy from them and put on it. But to be honest with you, I went there and I looked at them and I thought they were really nice, but part of the reason I love wearing this watch is it is so lightweight. It is very much, to me, like wearing a G-Shock watch, except you have this magnificent Seiko Tuna look here. So not applied indices, these are painted on indices full of Seiko's proprietary, I think it's Lumabrite, is that what it is? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Very similar, standard kind of Seiko hands you have here. I do think these are very reminiscent of some of the more some of the Marine Master models and different things like that. You have a date window down here at the 420 position, very simple and easy to operate. You have the Prospex logo there just above the solar and the Divers 200. Getting into the movement in this watch, it's not, it's a solar quartz movement, so there's not a lot to talk about, but there is a lot to talk about because first of all, you have a dial on this watch that kind of has this brownish tint to it. That's because the entire dial is a solar module. So that's what's actually, or the solar panel, I should say, not the module itself. And then under there, you have a V157 Seiko solar quartz module inside of that. This module, once fully charged, is capable of holding a power reserve for 10 months. So, basically, as long as you get this watch in some kind of light, even incandescent light that puts off UV rays, it will continue to charge. So I think that's just a great, great thing. I was working outdoors a lot last month, and it was nice. I had this watch on. I'd be driving my car and my hand out the window, and it was kind of cool to think, hey, my watch is charging as I just drive along here. So neat thing about the solar movements. I really think it's the way of the future, to be honest with you. So thickness is great on the watch. You can see this is the factory rubber strap. And here in a minute, when I go ahead and do a wrist check, I'm going to swap out the strap just to show you a different strap on the watch. Very comfortable. It's their newest style, very pliable rubber straps. The gold tone model, of course, having the gold tone hardware with the buckle, branded with Seiko, and also on the keeper there. So, guys, these are a fun watch. Definitely worth the money they're going for. Let me go ahead and pause it, and we'll get this on the wrist, because even though it's big, these wear super well. Okay, guys, so I have a 7-inch wrist, and I know a lot of people are going to say, that looks huge, and I guess it does, but I see so many people nowadays wearing G-Shocks, white, blue, red, and everything that are so big that really this, to me, doesn't stand out. I've not had anyone mention my watch, to be honest with you, the whole time I've worn it, and I wore it for a week solid once I got it. So looks good on this leather strap. I think this is a Strapsco 22 millimeter vintage leather strap. Had this for quite a while, and when I got this watch, I dug it out of the box because of the black hardware. Thought it looked really good on there. Let's try another strap real quick before we do the loom check. Okay, this is the strap. It's gray and it has black hardware. It was a 2-piece NATO, and I cut it down to a single piece, but I actually use this wearing the watch to the gym. And I'll tell you what, there's not many people that are going to be wearing a full stainless steel Tuna to the gym because they're just so darn heavy. This is so lightweight, like a G-Shock, that it is actually fun to wear to the gym, easy to tell the time, and works perfect. So let's go ahead and dim the lights, and I'll show you guys the wonderful loom this watch has. All right, so typical Seiko, I don't even have, I haven't even put loom, or excuse me, light on the watch, and you can see it glowing. I love the way that they did the bezel insert on this watch, how it glows the first 15 minutes there. Isn't that great? I mean, it's just something I didn't expect that from Seiko, and I think it probably has something to do with the, that plastic bezel insert, but it really looks good. So this is the SNE498, one of the solar Tunas from Seiko. One thing I forgot to mention when we were showing the straps, guys, is this has enough gap to really fit a lot of different straps. I know a lot of the stainless steel Tunas have a very tight lug gap, and that's not the case on this. So, all right, guys, that is the video on my solar Tuna. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.